So as it turns out, the student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years have a 17% interest rate. So what I thought I've been paying off for all this time, I'm actually, I owe more than what I started off with.
Yep, let me go ahead and touch on that too right quick. A lot of people don't understand what they're signing up for when they're getting these student loans. Now, this is the first time that I would advocate or blame the parents for this, right? You're still an adult. You still make your own decisions. And obviously there are people out there with special circumstances where they don't have parents in their lives at all. And I get they want to progress and better their life. So these people aren't included. But knowing that your kid is going out into the world and essentially taking on debt to further their education, I do think parents need to take somewhat of a responsibility by not reading the fine print, right? You're older. You're older than your child. You should, if done life the right way, have vastly more experience. Even the ones that have never been to college, because I hear that here comes the argument. Well, Todd, what about the first time generation college kids? What about the parents that have never been to college before? Okay, but they still know how debt works. It doesn't matter the format, whether it's credit card debt, student loans, personal loan, car loan. They still, any and everybody know what debt is. They know or should have knowledge of how it works. If not, you're just irresponsible. To read over the fine print of what you're signing up for when you are getting these student loans. This is money you have to pay back. People that are taking student loans, they're taking out more than they need. They going out to nice dinners with them, buying clothes, whatever they're doing with the student loan money that might necessarily be needed. They're getting housing that's more than what they actually need. All this stuff has to be paid back. And I don't think people realize that until you're at the finish line, you got the degree. By the way, didn't even guarantee you a job, because that's another conversation. A lot of people automatically think, okay, I have this degree from this accredited university or this community college, and I'm automatically just going to get a job. That's not how it works. You need to do whatever you need to and fight the best you can to get in some type of internship program the last 2 years of college and really figure out, if there is one, and figure out what direction you're going to go. Because I'll tell you this, guys, I was a student athlete, right? Coming out of high school, I was the fifth best. I was a jumper. Did long jump, triple jump, hurdles, a couple sprints, but jumping was my main thing. I was a fifth on paper best long jumper coming out of the country. NCAA freshman, went to NCAAs. I'm thinking I'm going pro. I'm going to get signed by Nike. I'm going to get signed by Adidas. I thought all that, right? Sophomore year, tore my meniscus. Still thought it was hope, thought I was going to get back. Went back to training. 6 months later, tore my other meniscus in my other leg. That's when I took school a lot more seriously. And I always had good grades. I graduated cum laude, right? But at that point, when I knew that athletics wasn't going to be the way out, and I knew it was not ordained for me to be poor, right? I didn't come from money, but I knew that I did not want to live how I grew up. I didn't want to live how I grew up. I didn't live horrible, but I knew with motivation, hustle, I could change the trajectory of my family, the family that I have, my children's children, right? And so at that point, I took school seriously. I started networking. I started figuring out what is my plan as soon as I graduate, because I want to hit the ground running. And thankfully I did. And I got one of the biggest internships from one of the biggest tech companies that we all know today. I won't shout them out. And I've been at the races ever since. I was fortunate to not have to pay for student loans. But I always said at the same token that if I didn't get no scholarships, one, I wasn't going to a school that would have cost me $30,000, $40,000 a year, for one. Might have not even went to school at all. Would have got picked up a trade. People sleeping on the trades too. I think trades make more millionaires than the people that's actually going to school. That's a conversation for another day. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that when you're taking this money out, it has to be paid back. It has to be paid back. And I think, honestly, student loans should have zero interest. I'll give you guys one. Student loans should have zero interest. It should. It'll still have the effects on your credit report if you don't pay the principal. But I do believe student loans should have no interest, because college is meant, as far as society, to be better. Whether you're going to school to be an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, social worker, biologist, further education is meant to propel society. And I don't think interest should be charged on that. But you can't sit here and say that just because we have billionaires and trillionaires in this world, I don't think we have any trillionaires, billionaires, excuse me, that they should be responsible for paying for your student loans. If they did that for everybody that has student loans, one, majority of people wouldn't take it seriously that went to school, because they know it's going to ultimately be paid off on somebody else's dime. And two, they will go broke. A billionaire, multimillionaire should not be responsible for your decisions in life and what you decided to do.
What the fuck? So, Jeff Bezos, this would be a really cool fucking time to Venmo me, bro. Like, I owe $90,000 and I didn't even spend
That's
that much
crazy.
on school. Like, any rich person, please tap in. Like, Kourtney Kardashian, like, you probably have 8 houses. I'm never gonna be able to buy one because I went to college. I just signed up to be an egg donor. Guess what? Got approved. Who wants my fucking kids? I can't afford them, so start admitting more. Just fucking take them. What do you want? My left arm too? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm gonna be in debt for my whole fucking life. How does that even make sense? I signed up for this shit when I was 17. Like, this should not be legal, bro.
It's no excuse. Again, some of this falls on the parents, but it's still no excuse. It's no excuse. As much social media as we have, as much BS as we're watching on social media, as much financial literacy we should also be consuming. My parents didn't really teach me about money. They taught me save. That's it. They taught me to save for a rainy day. They didn't teach me about all the stuff that I wanted to learn in high school and college about money, how money works. And I go as far as saying this. I think the government should start incorporating financial literacy in high school curriculum and college curriculum. I believe that. 2, college somewhat is a scam. Your first 2 years are what they call core classes. Math, science, literature, Stuff you've already learned in high school, why are we now paying to retake it again? Let's get down to the meat and potatoes. Learn what we got to learn. Get in and get out. Instead of being in school for 4 years, I promise you at that point, then you would be in school for 2 for your bachelor's. Master degree. Majority of them, sorry, hate to say it, and I would like for somebody to contest me in the comments about this. Most of it is just research work and writing papers. You're spending an extra $40,000 to $60,000 getting your master's just to write papers, not to really even learn anything new. I feel bad for her, but don't feel bad. Look, ultimately, don't go to school for something that's not going to pay out a whole bunch of money. You got to do the pros and cons. If you know you want to be a social worker and the average income is $55,000, $60,000 a year, don't go to a $120,000 university when it's all said and done. Go to community college, do what you got to do, get in and get out, live your life. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I love you. I appreciate you. Continue to rock with me. I'll see you guys on the next one.